Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of VC Buckets. I'm Matthew Brune. Joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Colin, today we have a very fun video between two of the most theoretical players in this draft, Tidjane Salaun and Cody Williams. Fascinating prospects where I just think it's a versus video, so we have to say that one's better. And I think you do have one in mind that
I
is
have
better.
the clear winner.
A clear winner, but you're also still not high on said winner.
I am pretty low on both of these players. Yes,
We're both fairly low. I think we're both okay. The way to put it is we're both lower than consensus. We're both lower than the
anytime we say
general
that.
public.
Yeah.
But you have Cody Williams as a better player. All right, Cody
Yeah.
Williams better player than Tidjane Salaun. Both these players are probably going to be lottery picks, whether we like them or not.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes Cody Williams a better player than Tidjane Salaun, even though you're not super high on him?
I think before we go into what's different about them, I think we need to say what's the same about them and why we don't like them.
Okay, yeah.
So for Salaun and Williams, they're both young. They both clearly have upside, right? Like you look at them and you go, these players could be this.
They look like basketball players.
Exactly. And I feel like especially myself in the 4 years we've been doing this, is I feel like I've fallen into a trap every year where I look at a player like a Ryan Rupert and you go, this person could be somebody. He could be a really good playmaker. He could be a really good point guard. Well, where is he now right now? And that's not to say he couldn't be something in a few years, but Ryan Rupert wasn't drafted in the top 15 or top 10 like a Cody Williams is being projected to be drafted. And when I look at both of them, I go, okay, they're athletic. I think Salaun has a better body than Cody Williams. I think Cody Williams is a better playmaker than Salaun. But you look at both of them, you go, I don't think any of them do anything good enough to make an NBA team right now. And that's fine if you want a project, but that player is going to be in the G League for a few years. And I don't know. It's hard for me to go, okay, I can take this player. Like, I'd rather take an older player that has a skill that can be like, if we're like, we just did.
Are you taking Connect? Are you taking Connect?
Where he's at right now? Let me see where he's at.
Are you taking Dalton Connect?
I don't remember if he's over there. I don't remember. I had to think this
because that's the ultimate litmus test.
I have Connect over Salaun. I have Cody Williams over Connect.
Okay,
and I'll get into why. But my point is that when you have a player that's older that has a skill translatable instantly, can help a team in this aspect, I think that's more valuable this early in the draft and a weak draft than it is getting a player in a weak draft so high up. And maybe I'm wrong for that. Maybe that's my GM speaking.
We have both of them have 7'1" wingspans. I think both of them flash defensive potential, like fairly consistently. Like Cody Williams, especially, even more so than Salaun, I think, is like projected to be more of a defensive player. Like, hey, he can be the next, maybe like Jaden McDaniels, right? Like he has the long arms, he has the tools and the build to like be a defensive player. Salaun, I think, has a much better body. Salaun is more of a forward than Cody Williams. Cody Williams is like more of a 3, I think, in most situations. But Salaun has, well, if we're still talking about what's the same between them, like the shooting for both of them like doesn't scream like bad shooters. Like Cody Williams shot 41% from 3, but he only shot 41 on the season. 41 threes.
Yeah, he made less than 1 a game.
Yeah, Salaun 33% from 3, but like similar type thing. In terms of, it was very erratic. It was very sporadic, I guess. Say
you have at 33.
I have at there again. European stats I have up in.
Oh, I got 31.6%.
Okay, sure, we can run with that. But yeah. So, anyways, like the shooting in theory, again, I have both these players in like in theory categories. Could get there, but then you get to like neither one is super explosive, like with the ball in your hand, or at least Cody Williams isn't explosive, but makes the right decisions. Salaun's a little bit more explosive, but like has no shot at creating. So like those, the concerns are the concerns for both these guys.
Yeah. And when you think of raw prospects, like in last year's draft, for example, you think of, like, for me, I think of like a player. I don't remember where Bilal Coulibaly was picked. He went to the Wizards, but I don't remember what pick that was.
It was high. It was like
Was it
7.
9?
I think it was
Oh,
like
was it
7.
7? Was it
I think it was
7?
7.
Okay. But I
Because
think, like, when you
surprised
when you
us.
think of a player that like that is like that, who's really raw, he showed a lot.
Coulibaly was a better prospect than both these guys.
No, I'm not saying he's not.
It wasn't even close.
But I'm saying that's what's missing from both these players is that I haven't seen flashes of things that I'd like to see flashes of in raw players. Like Cody Williams, for example, like he has the quote unquote shot 41% on like just over an attempt per game.
Yeah.
But for me, I always felt he was overshadowed by the other two Colorado draft prospects. And when you look at Salaun, it's kind of the similar type of thing where it's like you don't see any flashes in shot creation. We don't even, I mean, it's bad. It's like a train wreck. And I understand that he's 18, but how much further along does he need to be before, like, I think it's miles away before you go, okay, I think I can see this. The only thing I see for him is like a slashing type thing. And is that really something you do at an elite level that really impacts a team? And the shooting is kind of there.
I
but it's not there enough.
I think the shooting is more projectable than you think. I think,
I know,
like,
but I think
the form looks good, does it not?
So
Like,
I have the shooting as a strength. The shooting upside is a strength.
okay.
But my point is that it's not something where it's like, oh, I can see this guy being an elite shooter. You know what I mean? Like, whereas I look at a Coulibaly and I go, this guy could be an elite defender. This guy could be an elite playmaker.
Slasher, yeah. I think Salaun's, honestly, I might be higher on Salaun than Cody Williams as like a shooter at this point. Like,
I definitely am.
Cody's form is not as, like, his structure mechanically is not as fluid as Salaun's right now, and it's a little unnerving to me. But it goes in, right? So, another hard part of this is Cody Williams' brother Jalen Williams was like a late bloomer a little bit, and he's like obviously taken the league by storm a little bit with the Thunder. So you're shaking your head. You don't.
Even with that though, like when I watch Jalen Williams, I go, oh, this guy's gonna be legit in the NBA, because you watch him and you go, this playmaking is different. He can play point guard at the size of a small forward, and it looks legitimate. Whereas I look at Cody Williams, and again, he's deferring a lot. I know he's only 19, but what is he doing really, really well, like his brother is, that can go into the NBA? And I don't really see anything there right now.
You could argue Cody was the fourth best player on his team. Like, legit. KJ Simpson was definitely better, and Tristan Da Silva was definitely better. And then Eddie Lampkin at the 5 was had a lot on his shoulders too. So it's like Williams was very, very passive. The frame is more concerning with Williams, and that's where people betting on Cody Williams, and this is where maybe I should have Salaun a little bit higher on my board. I do have Cody Williams over him, but like Cody Williams' frame is very concerning because the only reason you can bet on him is that he gets significantly stronger, like his brother. Like, he becomes as strong and as filled out as his brother when he turns 20, 21, 22. Which is fine, but like, even with him being stronger, like, he doesn't have experience getting to the basket. That was probably one of the most unnerving things, was him fading from the basket, getting blocked at the basket, just really having trouble getting all the way to the rim. And I actually have, let me see if I can pull up some clips while I talk, but there's this will be a first time on BC Buckets history. We have a video as we go, but like, it was just very obvious that he doesn't have the burst, he doesn't have the strength. And here's 2 clips I have right here for those watching at home. Like, this should be, this floater pissed me off, first of all. This floater annoyed me throughout beyond hell. Like, what did I just watch? What are we doing here? And then the second one, which I'll show right now, is this one, which I thought was the first one. Oh, let me rewind it. Like, he should be able to turn the corner, and he just never does.
Yeah.
It's like really annoying to watch him try to get to the rim. And so, with that being said, I just think this strength is by far the biggest swing factor here. By far the biggest. He can't operate the way that he operates right now if he's not 20 pounds heavier with all of that being muscle.
Yeah.
Like, if he does not get there, he can't play like his brother. He can't play like a starting 3 in the NBA needs to play.
I completely agree.
Also had some injuries, which was
wrist. He was out with his wrist, but
wrist, and then he had an ankle injury. Then he had a nose injury, which isn't his fault or anything. He played through it with a mask, but like the in between game's not there. Honestly, one more thing while we're dogging Cody Williams, the passing I think is a little overrated. I think
the passing is overrated, but I don't think it's overrated in the role that I think he could have in the NBA. And I guess when we finally get to where we think these players project. But I agree with you in that a lot of people are looking at like, oh, he could be a point forward. I don't think that's possible.
I don't.
But I think that I think in terms of the type of player when we get to comps that he could be, it'll be fine. But
all right, and to wrap up on Tidjane Salaun, we like his shooting upside. I think the competitiveness.
And hustle.
Like
He's the hustler.
If you swap these two, Salaun would not be fourth. Like he might be the fourth best player on Colorado, but Salaun was gonna like at least do more. I feel like activity wise.
Well, what he would have done is we would have saw like 1 or 2 games where he went off. Yeah. Whereas Cody Williams, we didn't really see any games where he went off.
Yeah. But yeah, Salaun, I like him as a rebounder quite a bit. Again, he's more of like a 4-man who I think is going to be really exciting. If he fills out, maybe he could play the 5 even a little bit, but he has some lobs, could be a lob threat a little bit. But ultimately, like the stats, he's an awful finisher. Like off the dribble, there's nothing there right now.
No touch.
You're talk about starting at ground zero. He might be like the worst finisher we've seen in terms of like first round grades in doing this in 4 years.
Which is why I think it's
40% on half court layups.
Yeah, is why I think you should take an older player with quote unquote less potential. Because what are we really looking at here? We're looking at players who check the boxes in terms of, I guess, size, length, and then sometime in certain metrics of strength and frame. I mean, Cody Williams obviously not the same, but you know what I mean. And they're just really raw, and I don't know. I mean, extremely raw, and it's kind of crazy actually. Like Salaun is like a player that's like 2 years away from being 2 years away.
Yeah, it's the more turnovers than assists. I'm just gonna keep reading through everything. I think that's pretty much everything I have. No in between game at all. Just it feels safer picking Cody Williams than Salaun, even though I'm not like as low on Salaun as you are, but it feels safer betting on Cody Williams. Like, okay, if he gets stronger, I see it. Salaun is a complete ball of clay.
I couldn't even do comps for Salaun. I didn't even know.
I got him.
Yeah.
PJ Washington and Jonathan Kuminga.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, like ceiling, I put 4 question marks, because I have no idea. Like, do you really think it could be Jonathan Kuminga? Like, really?
I think like a hybrid of those two. Like, if the 3-point shot, look, if he can shoot threes and he's 6'9" and he gets a little stronger and he can rebound the ball, he can carve out a role somewhere. But ultimately, like, we're years away from that being a thing. So
yeah,
I don't know. Like you said, I don't love betting on these long-term projections like we've done over the years. Like if we go back to our 2020 class, even though they're not similar players at all. Like Alexei Pokusevski, right? Mm-hmm. He was we loved him in that class. Everybody loved him in that class, and it's just like that's not how it works. That's not how progression works. You don't just draft a guy on tools and it always works out. A lot of times it doesn't. So we'll see how it works out for Salaun and Williams. I think that's all we got for y'all today.
I didn't get to my comps for Cody Williams.
Oh,
wow.
What you got?
Trevor Ariza. I think he could be Trevor Ariza as the ceiling.
I have Ariza for a different player we haven't done a video on yet. So save that one. I struggled the way you struggled for comps for Salaun. I struggled with comps for.
I think because like Ariza kind of had playmaking.
Yeah,
and then he didn't come into the league shooting threes, but then he shot threes. So I don't know.
Williams is hard. Williams is very, very hard for me to pin down. I have Zaire Williams, which is
That's
like
crazy.
a defensive wing that can kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know, do something off the dribble, but still needs time to develop. So, like, again, we're talking about projects here, okay? We're talking about projects. So, let us know what you think in the comments below. Who do you got, Cody Williams or Tidjane Salaun? We'll see where these two get drafted again, probably in the lottery. So, we'll be talking about them early on when we do these reviews after they're drafted. So, stay tuned for that. Leave us a like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will talk to y'all.